What's poppin', y'all? It's your boy, CallMeLove, and this is my AP interview.
Does time flow? Do you grow? Do you know where you're supposed to go? Does time flow? Do you grow? Do you know where you're supposed to go? You can be lonely with me.
I was born and raised in South Carolina, Columbia to be exact. Grew up most of my years in Blythewood. Don't really fuck with Blythewood, to be real with you. Columbia is way better. My personality is a hard one to describe. The best way to describe it is, your boy is a roller coaster. So think of it like a never-ending roller coaster. It has its ups and it has its downs, and we're always thinking about emotion. And sometimes beautiful art can be made from that. Okay, this one's gonna take a minute. So I first really realized what music could do, like how powerful it was, when I was probably like 11 or 12 when I found that out. And one of those first artists was actually Eminem, listening to him. I later started to like dabble with like rhythm. Like my parents always wanted me to be a drummer. And so I would always be like, you know, like making little beats on things with like pencils in my fingers. And then when I was 16, I used to play a lot of video games, like PC gaming, and someone told me about FL Studio, and then I started looking into it, and I saw Ugly God, of all people. He made everything in FL Studio, and I was like, wow, that really like inspired me. So I got FL, and all of these other artists that I had listened to, I took inspiration from them and started making music, and that was around 16. To find your sound is to find yourself. T-Pain explained this great in an interview with Steve-O, and y'all should look it up. Like, when you're, especially as an artist that creates music, you're constantly going over hills, right? But there's always going to be another hill. If you blow up by tomorrow, there's gonna be another hill, you know? So like, you can't just coast at that point. You can keep building and building and building, and it'll take time, but experimenting is the best thing to do. Like, the mainstream stuff are people who experimented years ago, like so long ago, and you'll have these certain people that make music to try to copy that, but that's not what the point is, man. You gotta experiment and find what's next. At the moment, people in general, I personally, like when I was younger, like the things that inspired me to get into music was like, originally Eminem was one of the first, because I listened to him all the way through elementary school, basically. Like Recovery, great album. I found an artist named Lil Peep, you know, and he tapped me into something that I had never really heard before. He basically revolutionized sound by making a hybrid. So it left it with like, there's this hybridized sound, what are we gonna move to next? I wanna own a label one day. I have a career myself, obviously, and that's what's gonna open the gateway to be able to do that. But that's really the goal with music, to be honest, is to get to the point to where I can have that instant platform. Like, think about this, Drake could hop on a song with anybody right now and that person will blow up. Like, he can change someone's life by saying things with his mouth. I have a feed mentality, like everyone can eat. The crowd is very excited, as you can tell. And I'm very excited as well. We're working with them in Austin, Prescott. But most importantly, we're working with people who want to make a good product. At the end of the day, it don't matter the name, it don't matter the success or the notoriety. We out here to make a good product. Well, I'll say this. I'll start with the With Me video that Austin and I shot. One thing that I look for in people that I create with is like the drive to get things done. Austin and I had talked about doing a video for it, and we had a pretty wild idea, to be honest, and it all got shot in one day. I believe that that was like an 8 or 9 hour shoot, and we woke up at, it had to be 6 in the morning, like 5:30, 6 in the morning. It worked like clockwork, and not only that, like we had fun during the process, which I think is the most important part. So make sure it's loose, fun, and the feeling of the song that you're recording to. Skateboarding. One thing I'm extremely obsessed with is fashion. I tend to hyper focus on things, so like I'll sit there and work on music every single day for like 6 months, and then work on some bullshit clothing I got from Goodwill, like painting all over it for like 2 weeks, then go right back to making music. Like, it's such a hyper focused thing. Okay, so there's a lot of space here, and by space I mean, like, we haven't had someone go like big time mainstream since Darius Rucker and Hootie and the Blowfish. Jetson made, okay, so those are recent ones. Jetson made Speaker Knockers, right? I personally think that there's space for new things over here. I don't dislike the scene, and personally I think that the scene just needs additions. Be yourself. No matter what it is you're doing, just be yourself. Don't go on a song and talk about things that you don't do. Be yourself and be original. Just because everyone's done everything or everyone's thought of everything doesn't mean that you can't put your own spin on it. You're the spice. Be yourself.
But why does it make me sad?